Okay. Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6 Central Kentucky TV, community focus on Washington County. And today we're happy to have with us our new jailer, Joe Mudd.
Thank you.
Washington County jailer. Thank you, Joe, for coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah. So now, Joe, you are the newly elected jailer, but you were appointed midterm, I guess, or close to the end of Steve Harden's term.
He had a year and a half to finish, and I was appointed at that point.
Okay, because you had been his deputy jailer, is that right?
For 3.5 years prior to that.
Okay, and so when Steve retired, you were appointed by County Judge Executive John Settles to fill that unexpired term until the election. And so then we had our election. You didn't have any opposition. Did you have opposition in the primary?
Not in the primary, no.
Okay. So you ran on the Republican ticket, and you ran against Michael Smith on the Democratic ticket.
Right.
So then, and Joe, when of course, I've known your wife Sue for a long time, since she's worked was a county. Was in the sheriff's department and
also a police officer.
Also a police officer, and now does work for the city as the safety officer.
Yes.
So, and she's quite a talented woman.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
I'm very blessed to have her as my wife.
And of course, she was interviewed on our program at one time and talked about her position and also how you all met. And she's from California.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So I think you were both in the service together.
No, I was working in Lawrenceburg at a Chevrolet dealership, and she was up there, and she had been divorced, and then we met, and the rest is history.
Okay. Of course, she had been in the service, and was it the Navy?
Navy, yes.
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah. And somehow I was thinking it was connected to that, but I guess not. And then, so you all been residing in Washington. You're from Washington County, though.
Right.
And when I found out, of course, who you were, my mother-in-law, as I told you, was always asking me, who is he? I think, we might be related to them. And so tell me now, first of all, who you're...
My daddy's name, or my deceased daddy, he died in 2013, Paul K. Mudd. And my mother's Mary Mudd. And I have 14 brothers and sisters.
Yeah. And I said, well, when I found out you had 14 brothers and sisters, I said, ooh-wee, he's a formidable opponent in this election, because as we were speaking earlier, who is your voter base? Well, if you've got a large family, that
makes a difference.
Makes a difference. It really does.
It really does, yeah.
So I don't know how many of them live in Washington County.
I think I have 2 that live out of the county. So
the rest of them all live here.
Yes.
So so you did, and of course they have children as well. Wonder how many nieces and nephews you have. Do you have any idea?
Probably maybe close to 50.
Wow.
Something like that.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you grew up here in the county, out on Bloomfield Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Seabrook Creek Lane.
Seabrook Creek.
Yeah, it used to be Mud Lane years ago. Then they changed it to Seabrook Creek.
Yeah, they should have kept that Mud Lane. Daggone it.
I wish they would have, but.
Yeah. That was probably based on your family out there, right? Probably a lot of mud.
Initially, then I think the neighbor farmer wanted his farm kind of named after that creek that's down that road, Seabrook Creek.
Okay.
And they just renamed the road Seabrook Creek Lane.
Okay. So well, that's just too bad. And is that where you reside now, on Seabrook Creek?
Yes, I do. I actually bought some acreage for my mother and dad, and I built a house down there.
Yeah. And you all were farmers?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I suppose you still farm too.
A little bit, yeah. I don't get too crazy with it, but got a few cows and a few horses.
Yeah,
like
yeah. So that's interesting because you're the fourth interview that I have done today, and all farmers in this county, which is wonderful.
It's a big farming county, actually.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, what got you interested in? First of all, you were the deputy sheriff, so deputy jailer. So you and Steve probably did some farming together.
No, we really
because he was
didn't.
a farmer too.
He was just looking for a deputy, and Sue mentioned my name to him, and that I may be interested in doing it. So she approached me and asked me. I said, I might do that. So I went and talked to Steve, and he told me about it. And I said, well, yeah, I'll try that. He said, if you don't like it, quit.
Yeah.
So I tried it and almost quit several times because I said, I don't know if I want this or not. But because it's it takes a different person to do what I'm doing as far as being the jailer.
Yeah.
And so I stuck it out, and I got to where now I enjoy it, especially being the jailer. I really enjoy that, and I just enjoy it. So. Now,
did you have to have some kind of training as a jailer when you
we have
worked under
24 hours a year training for a deputy. Then there's 40 hours for a jailer.
Jailer, okay. Yeah. And so now, where does that training take place?
It takes place in well, it could be at any venue. It could be in Bowling Green or Northern Kentucky at conferences, and we get our hours accumulated at conferences.
I see. Okay.
Training hours.
So then, now we don't have a jail in this county,
Correct.
And haven't had for a long time. But your job then is to transport.
Right. Yeah, we're considered, since we don't have a jail, we're considered a closed county. And anytime you hear that term, that means they don't have a jail, as far as the corrections go. And so we're considered a closed county. That means we transport whoever offends any or breaks any laws in this county, Washington County, we transport to Marion County. And we pick up all over the state, actually. If we have offenders that have cases in here in Washington County that they haven't went to court for, we have to go get them in other counties and bring them back here. So they can go to court.
So what, you pick them up from another jail?
Yes.
Okay. And even from what about if someone's in prison?
No, not state.
Then the state brings them.
Yes.
Okay. So so are you just on call every day, or you don't have an office, or do you?
Yeah, I have an office in the sheriff's office.
Oh,
in
okay.
the sheriff's office down there. I have a little office there, and I do come in every day. I work several hours a day, just kind of keeping up with what's going on,
paperwork and stuff.
and making see who's been arrested and who's here and who's there, and I get transport or pickup orders all the time. That's when the jails call me to pick up someone, like I was just telling you about, to come and pick them up and bring them to Washington County.
So, okay, I knew that you had an office in the sheriff's office, which is nice because that way you can confer with them regularly and keep up with what's going on. And I guess you do that with the city as well. You work with the police department on.
I work well with all of them. I got a good working relationship with them, and we get along good. And,
do you transport then? Just anyone that goes to that's in jail? Anyone then?
Yeah, just anybody except for state inmates.
Except for the state inmates.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose sometimes the state houses inmates in our county jails, don't they?
They do.
Okay.
Yes.
But so you wouldn't transport them even if they were in the county jail?
It depends on the classification of their crime, if I would transport them or not. So.
So do you like say, of course, we've had, some murders in our county. Do you transport the person that's accused of murder?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I do.
Okay. So it doesn't make any difference
As
what
long-
their crime is.
Right. As long when they're still a county inmate, after they've been through trial, or they've had their day in court, they found guilty, then they move them on to a state penitentiary or
Okay.
state prison.
Okay.
Then they're classified as state.
Right.
Then if they have any other cases within that time frame where they're in that state jail or state prison, they will be transported by state to court.
Okay.
If the situation
Okay.
arises.
Yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
that's after they're convicted. So
Right.
then you basically are, when they're going to court here, and I guess they could be convicted of one crime here and go to the Marion County. Of course, you transport, I guess, most of them to Marion County
Yes, I do.
Detention Center.
Yeah. It all depends on the offense. If it's a warrant, for example, out of Boyle County or Nelson County, I don't transport to Marion County. I just take them on to Boyle County. If it's all it is, they've been arrested on a warrant, solely on the warrant. No charges in Washington County.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then you would transport them on to Bullitt
To other
County.
counties.
To the
Whatever county the warrant is issued
Right,
out
right.
of. That way I can save the county money by not housing them over in Marion County.
Good point. Because we were talking about that earlier,
Yeah.
The less people we have in jail as far as our tax dollars is concerned,
The better.
the better. But on the other hand, as the sheriff stated, you want people that have been convicted of a crime, the arresting officer, of course, and they'd like to see them stay in jail for a
Exactly.
while.
Yeah, you're right.
And that in turn keeps the crime rate down in our county because that person is incarcerated
Right.
and they're not out stealing or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm sure you've, I know that you have to be cautious in how you transport. And do you stay with them also then? Do you, like if they're getting ready to go into court, or does the sheriff's, I know the sheriff's office sits.
Yeah, once I get them over to the courthouse, I'm really, legally, I don't have anything more to do with them, but I kind of hang around, kind of help out the court security. Yes.
The court security.
Yeah, bringing them in and out of the courtroom.
Okay.
And do that.
That's
yeah.
that's probably good.
Mhm.
Good idea. So then you court day. Well, now we have court over here on
Mondays. We have district court on Mondays, and then circuit court once a month. About the middle of the month. It varies on the day. It could be the 20th.
Tuesday maybe,
Something
or
like that.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or Wednesday.
Fourth Wednesday.
Yes. Or third Wednesday, probably. More than likely. I've had it on the last Wednesday of the month before,
Yeah.
but that makes it for a shorter time between the next one.
Right, right. So now tell me then why it was you didn't like this position initially.
Well, just having to put up with the drunks and the people that were high on drugs and stuff like that. They can be tough to deal with sometimes. They scream and holler and yell and all that kind of stuff, and just do everything they can.
And you carry a gun and everything.
I don't. No.
You do not?
No.
Okay, the jailer does not.
I can if I want, but I choose not to.
So do you have to, I'm sure there's times when you felt like you probably needed to.
Not to this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Because then the sheriff will get them in your vehicle, or someone will escort them to your vehicle?
Usually the police officers help me escort them to the vehicle. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to escort them to your vehicle by yourself?
Right.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Then of course
Then you would have to have a gun, maybe.
right.
Yeah.
Then we got, then over at the jail, you got a sally port you pull in, and it's a confined area. There's nearly nothing's going to happen, and they're right there on the next door, and they come out and help you bring them in, all that kind of stuff. So it works out really well.
Have you had any bad situations?
No, I mean it's been smooth.
Pretty smooth?
Yeah. It's all, I got a gift of talking to people in the right way to kind of keep them calm down. And I use that a lot.
I think that's important.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's no sense in.
So your demeanor and your attitude
kind of helps them calm down and keep calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I guess, are you on call like 24 hours a day?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I got set aside of several hours a week that I work when my other deputies are off. Then when
you have one deputy?
No, I have
you have two deputies?
Yes, I have a full-time weekend guy and then a guy that helps him with the court. And when I'm off the clock, they're on the clock, but I'm still on the clock 24/7 because I get calls all the time. People, other jails want me to pick up guys, and all that, and I communicate with the jail. If something happens over medically or something, and one guy needs to go to the hospital or something, I got to, take care of that situation.
You got to go and get them and take them to the hospital?
Yes. Well, sometimes I do, but most times the Marion County does that. Takes them for me. But I gotta make sure that I can control that situation to where that medical bill is not. The county's not responsible for the medical bill. Because then there's a couple of things I can do, but I'm not going to mention it on TV, okay? Because you never know who's going to be listening.
Well, I'm sure that is that's part of your job to keep costs down.
Exactly, and that's one of my main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I do know that the jail bill. I don't know what the jail bill is per year.
It's a lot.
How much is it?
Well, can I say?
Yeah.
Well, we had to add.
I mean, it's public record.
Yeah. Well, we had to add $100,000 to the jail bill last fiscal year. So to get us through.
Well, we had some pretty big crimes.
And we're over $500,000.
$500,000 per
budget for the jail.
Oh, it's budgeted for this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
for
it's not
the
budgeted.
18-19.
Well, it's not budgeted yet, but it's probably going to be budgeted over $500,000.
I see. Yeah.
Because the trend it's kind of steady as far as the crimes.
Right.
The drug use and everything.
Right.
It's crazy.
We got to get that drug use down.
Oh, I know it. It's
You got any
terrible.
ideas on that, or how to get the jail bill down, or anything?
Well, I'm doing all I can as far as helping get the jail bill down, but it's really going to take a change in society as far as how they, as far as the drugs,
The drug use?
Yes, it's going to have to change.
What do you think? We need stronger laws, or we need, how do we combat that? I'm just at a loss myself.
I don't know. I mean, nobody's really got an answer for it.
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
I know treatment is, more the focus now.
Yeah.
But,
and sometimes it helps and sometimes it don't. And most of the time it don't. And
really? Is that what you see?
That's what I'm seeing, yeah.
Most of the time the treatment doesn't help.
Yeah. But it has helped some. I mean, you get a percentage, a small percentage that it does help, and they go on to, live productive lives.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know they say, I think some of the statistics point out that it takes, usually about 3 times of treatment, the third time, before it takes hold. And, and some treatment, options are longer than others. And, I personally don't believe that 30 days is enough treatment for anybody to combat an addiction like drug abuse.
I think a minimum of a year.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need to be separated from that
whole
mess for a year,
yeah.
at least a year. and maybe there's hope, you know.
Yeah.
But they don't stay in there that long. I mean, there's 2 or 3 months, and they're out, and they're right back with the same group of people that they've hung around with before, or as they got arrested. So
same
there you
community.
Go. And it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. And I think that it says that your brain, if it's used to that, and what it triggers your desire to use again.
Yeah.
If you see the same kind of community that you were in before, certain sites, certain places that you hung out, and places that you obtained, drugs, and with certain people, all of that triggers the brain. So there's a lot of studies, of course, going on and trying to find ways to combat this issue. But golly, I know it's huge, and as you indicated, our jails are getting fuller, and I just don't know what we're going to do. But yeah, so but I'm glad that. Do you? Is there anything that you'd like to point out that we haven't discussed today that you think is important for our listeners to know? Tell them, first of all, not to get into drugs. What can you offer as far as some good advice to our listeners?
Well, can I use spiritual stuff here?
Certainly.
Okay. Well, I as a Christian, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian for 20 years. I think the Lord will help you more than anything as far as your drugs and any kind of addiction. I think He can help you with that and take it away from you and heal you from that, where you can live a productive life. I've seen it in a lot of people's lives. In my life, in the past, not in jail work, but just in my personal life. And I've seen the Lord do a lot of things for people.
Well, of course, then in AA and Al-Anon, that's certainly, the spiritual aspect and the higher power is Al-Anon and AAA and NA, Narcotics Anonymous, uses that whole philosophy of, higher power and spirituality and same kind of thing.
Right.
So yes, indeed, those are certainly important aspects.
When the Lord's in the mix, you can do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that is good information, and hopefully some of our listeners who might be struggling with that will take note of that.
So, I hope so.
And hope they don't wind up in our court system. Deter them from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because that, of course, not only hurts, it hurts everybody when someone's involved in the use of
Oh yeah, it destroys
drugs.
whole families.
It destroys
everything.
families, children.
It's terrible.
Yeah. And it affects the whole community.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So.
And the taxpayer.
And the taxpayer. Right. So, and we want you to be productive citizens and productive members of your community. And so, well, I want to thank you for being here today, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
To you in your position, and you'll be in office 4 years. Is that that's a 4-year term? Most of our offices are 4 years. And so, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
And now, do you and Sue have any children?
We don't have any together as far as biological together, but she has a son, and I have 3 children.
Oh, and how old are they?
31. Yeah, 31, and he's the oldest, and then the youngest is 25.
Well, gosh, Joe, I didn't know. You look like a kid yourself. I wouldn't have thought you had children that old.
I'm 51.
Oh, for goodness sake. Well, your jailer job hasn't caused you to age too rapidly yet. It might before it's over with.
It may.
So, well, that's great. And do they live all here in Washington County?
One lives in Marion County, and the other one lives in Campbellsville.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Sue's?
He's actually in the Air Force.
Okay.
And he lives in Hawaii.
Oh, well,
He's
there you go. It's good.
Stationed in Hawaii.
I hope you get a chance to go visit him. So, well, thank you again very much, and hope to hear from you again.
All right. Thank you very much, Lisa.